Oh, happy Masters Thursday. Just grinding some bands that are not really damaged. They're just minimally dull. So what I do is I take my profile rock. I won't grab my other one, but my profile rock that grinds the entire gullet profile, and I throw on a chainsaw grinder rock, and all I'm doing is grinding the tooth face just to make them sharp. Let's see, I'll hit this one. I don't think so. And figured since I was here, just trying to see if I ground this one. I don't think I ground this one. Oh, this one hasn't come over yet. This one's ground. Yeah. And just to show you that there's a couple different ways of doing this. I'm just checking to make sure that my rock isn't going too far into, don't want it to grind down into the gullet and create some weird facet down there. But basically all I'm doing, like I said, is I'm just sharpening the teeth. It takes me about 12 minutes or so to grind the entire band. So I'm comfortable here. I've got a bunch of milling to do tomorrow. I'm grinding these at 7 degrees, and I want some. I don't want to keep digging into my new bands if I don't have to. And I'll run this band tomorrow to show you what it does. But all I'm doing right now is just making them sharp. Taking off a minimal amount, it's just like a scraping pass, because this band, there's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't need to be set. It got run through mostly cants. But this band cut probably 1,000 board feet of lumber. And I just want to freshen it up. Get a couple of these, and then I have some that I ground when my rock ended up messed up, and it ground them at the wrong angle. I'm going to grind those too because they're set and they're sharp. They barely need anything. All they need is basically to dig in next to the angle a little bit. I'm going to grind those too. Just waiting for the masters to come on. Now I got to work on taxes this afternoon. And this is what I would call a minimally invasive grind. So I'm not grinding the entire gullet, I'm just grinding the toothpaste just to get it sharp. And continue testing the roller guides that I put on, waiting for Nord's new setup to show up. And I assume, they said they sent it out to me, so I don't know how long it's going to take to get here, but it should be here. I would guess any day. Usually takes about 2 days for them to ship something to me and for it to show up. The good thing about using the chainsaw rock here is, without reprofiling my other rock, I could change the tooth angle. I could take these to 4 or 8 or 10 or whatever. I might grind some 10s. I do have some pine to cut. I just got an order for some big pine slabs. I have a friend who's a slab dealer in the Northeast. And he's at a company called Plymouth Live Edge. His name's Thatcher. And he just ordered some slabs for me, 4-inch thick, minimum 20 inches wide, pine slab. I had a 3 and a 4, both already cut. He bought both of those, and he wants me to cut them 3 2-inch ones, but really wide. So sometime in the next couple of days, I'm going to put a big pine log up and cut out basically the middle thick parts of it into 2-inch slabs, and I'll take them all to him in one shot. He's up in Pembroke. So just basically throw them in the back of my pickup truck and drive them up there. The thing I do like about grinding with a chainsaw rock is it's ridiculously stable. Doesn't create much of a burr. Does a nice clean job of getting the teeth sharp. I got this set now, so I basically have to put just it's almost going to miss if I go straight down. I just have to put a teeny bit of side pressure on it to sharpen the tooth. So I'm pushing over this way as I come down to just kiss the whole face of the tooth. And I don't let it drop all the way down into the radius in the bottom, so I'm just basically sharpening the face of the tooth to get it sharp. It does a really good job at keeping the angle. That one almost missed. And I only do this with bands that don't need to be set. If the band needs to be set, then I'm going to use the entire the rock that grinds the gullet profile too. Just about halfway done now. You can see my mark on the weld seam over straight across from me. And basically, I'm doing this just to show you that you don't need a super duper mega setup to sharpen teeth. You know, you can just use a regular chainsaw grinder if you want to. You know, I do have profile rocks to redo the whole gullet profile and everything. I don't have an automatic setup, but this will make these every bit as sharp as they were from the factory. You'll get to see it run, because I'll probably run this one. I'll run this one tomorrow. It's raining out today, so I can't really do anything outside. If it looks like it missed, I'm just checking to make sure there's a burr on the top. You know, I cut the whole face. And these are crazy sharp. I mean, crazy, ridiculous sharp. You go ahead and finish it out, so you can kind of see the whole process. and I'm going to put in a sawmill shed, not my saw shop, but a sawmill shed out next to the saw. I'm going to be building that probably starting next week. It's going to be a small timber frame, like 10 by 8, and all my sharpening stuff's going to go out there. The thing I like most about doing it this way is that I can make sure that every single tooth gets sharpened, versus having to throw it in an automatic sharpener and then setting it as minimally as you can and then having to send it around a couple times. When I'm done with this, every tooth will be sharp. So like I said, just about 12 minutes. You can watch the timeline. I think I'm almost 3/4 of the way done now. And every single tooth, even if it was damaged, is going to be at same distance apart and sharp when I get done. And it's only one pass around. If I need to do more than that, then I'm going to use the rock that reprofiles the whole gullet. Not creating any cold joints or right angles or anything like that. The edge of this rock's profiled off so it doesn't. And these red rocks kind of cut nice and clean. They don't create much burr. Go around the rest of the way here while I got you guys on. Yeah, anybody that's thinking about, do I need to have a $700 or $800 setup to sharpen my bands? You really don't. You need to have a setup to sharpen your bands. I think if you're going to be serious, milling wood in any aspect, I think you need to do your own bands. Even if you're just milling for yourself, I think the ability to sharpen a band is pretty much paramount. Now, I set my setup before I ever got the sawmill. I had already sharpened bands before my sawmill ever showed up. Wood miser bands for a friend of mine to make sure that I could do it right. I have my setter downstairs. I usually set my bands in my downstairs shop. Snap my setter in a vise on my joinery bench, and I'll set 2 or 3 bands in about 15 minutes, then bring them up here, set them to the side. So all they need to do is be run through here. And like I said, I can make these teeth any angle I want. So if I want to change my rake, if I know I'm going to be doing a ton of hardwood and I want to try some 4 degrees, or if I'm going to be doing a ton of pine and I want to try some 10 degrees, I can do that too. The good thing about this rock is I don't have to reprofile the whole rock if I want to just change the angle. And I don't have to wear my rock out on bands like this that don't have any damage to them. All they are is just, worn a little bit on the face. And this band will be ready to go. Like I said, it'll be easily as sharp as it was from the factory. Sticking, almost done. I can see the weld joint coming over to my right hand now. So that's sticking up. I just have this set up on my bench, just resting on some wood that I had lying around in the shop up here that makes the band the same height as the bottom of the band, the same height as the grinder bed, so it doesn't rock. Almost done. Got to be careful grinding the last one just before the weld seam at the distances it messed up. This one right here, and it wasn't messed up at all. This one might be a little bit different. I don't want to come down on this one. Looks like the weld did change the. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance this so I don't hit, and then I'm going to back it up. So I'm just barely pushing it. There we go. This band's done. See how many minutes that took. So I'm at 17 on the video since before I started. I'm not sure, probably 5 minutes before I started. I'll give you a look. Now, it doesn't really matter if I show you this or not because you're not going to see any real difference. I'll pull you out and I'll show you because like I said, all I'm doing is just grinding the face. So nothing has changed on the band. So if you see the gullet profile here, nothing has changed. All I did was grind. If I could get light on the tooth face, I'll get a little flashlight here. This can be hard to show. Maybe I can show it over here. So all I did was just the teeth, just the front. I'll put you back in the holder. Just check my angle really quick. It should be right. I probably should check them before I go to town on them, but just throw my angle finder on it, a little bit of light. And it's just showing me my rake angle is whatever I have set on here right now. So it's grinding them at 7 degrees. So this one's all ready to go. I will just go ahead and pop this one out and coil it up, throw a zip tie on it. You're ready to go on another one. If I could do 3 of them here in about 30 minutes, oops, still tight. Then I'll have enough bands for the next couple of days, next few days, without having to break out any new ones. So I'm just going to coil this up, This one's ready to go. Wood Miser Silver Tip Turbo 7. I won't bore you with having you watch me do 2 or 3 of them. I'd like to do 3 bands. Have some. So this is the one that I was running yesterday that's still pretty sharp. I'm going to run that one. Also, I have the ones that I ground that got the angle messed up. I want to grind those too, because they're basically, if I can show this, I'll show you. If you haven't watched my videos and you didn't get to see this, but what happened with these is I was grinding them and the edge of my rock got worn funny and they ended up with no rake. So you see that, how that tooth's vertical? The edge of my rock got worn funny and they ended up at 0 rake. So I need to regrind this. They're sharp. These are, get a view in here. These are completely ground out through the gullet. So these are sharp. But they're at the wrong angle. So I want to reset the angle on these. Actually, I'll do a couple of teeth on this one for you so you can see it. Get them over to 7 from where they are, which is 0. I've never been very good at this part here. I'm not really sure why, what my brain doesn't kind of grasp. What you want to do is hang your loop down, the one loop that hangs the lowest, and then kind of, if you look at this band, just grab it in the 2 spots where it wants to fling out, and you can do it without, you don't throw them on the ground. So we'll get this one in here and we'll start grinding on this one and see where the weld seam is. Oh, it's right here, right in front of me. Perfect. So all I'm going to do with these is I'm going to set them for like really a minimal grind, as minimal as I can get it, because like I said, these are already sharp. They're just at the wrong angle. So, and it's got a burr on the top of every tooth. Start at the weld seam. And these are a little more of a pain in the ass when the gullet's all been ground out, because sometimes they don't like to, and I have to come up with a fix for this, but because of the way that the rock grinds in here, it makes little striations, and sometimes it grabs the stop, like right there, when it would need to come over more. And what I need is I need to put, I've already tried to reprofile this thing so it doesn't do that, but it still digs in. What I need to do is I need to probably put a, you can move it over a little bit too, so you're using a different part of it. Weld on some sort of hardened rod there, either a drill, cut a drill shank. I wish I had, a little piece of carbide or something like that, but so that it rolls through, so that this thing pushes through over those striations. It needs to be rounded more. And this soft metal on this is no good to do that. It just, as they're kind of like little saw teeth. So the more you sharpen, the more it digs into them. And you can move this side to side. There's a spring in here. So as I loosen it, it'll go that way. So you can find kind of a new spot on it. Let's go ahead and get it set. So it's way too far over. This is the weld seam one. Gotta get it over, a little more. Okay, so now I'm just barely kissing it. And it's kind of like just going down the tip, and then it's going to dig in. So what I'll do is I'm going to sharpen this one, change the angle on it, and then I'll show you. Just make sure I'm right. Yeah, it's just barely missing the top. So let's go ahead and do this one. Oh, and I want to be careful how deep I go too. There, that's just at the bottom of the tooth. So I'm just gonna put this thing back. Okay, let's check that one out. Still want it not to go that deep. Let's come over here, weigh, and make sure that my tooth angle is right. It doesn't look right. It looks like I need to go deeper. It's close. These may need to be done with my rock. Let me swap this out quick, and we'll redo it. Because I can't go deep enough. I thought I was going to just grind these over. I could taper this off more, but it seems like I'm going to dig in. I don't want to create like a step. So let's go ahead and put my real rock on here. It takes a different screw to do the other rock. There we go. Let's see what this does. This is a brand new profile rock. Get myself back over in the right spot. And this one, I think sits over. Oh no, it's pretty close right where it is. So we're going to try and regrind this one. See what we come up with. See if I'm hitting all the way down in the gullet. Let's bring it up till it comes out of the gullet. Okay, that's just hitting the whole gullet. So let's try and grind it like that, see what happens with that. Just want to make sure I get it right before. Looks like I need to take this back just a hair. Okay, let's grind it right there. That worked great. I'll show you that. So ground the whole gullet and the tooth base. You'll be able to see the difference between these two side by side, what that just did. So this needs to be definitely ground with the rock. So if I show you right now, let me get like this. So this one right here is the one I just made at 7 degrees, and I ground the whole gullet. And this one right here next to it is the one at 0 degrees. So you see 0 degrees, 0 degrees, and there's that one at 7. So I'm going to grind this band with this rock. You see the rocks profiled to the gullet shape. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll just do a couple teeth on here and then call this a video. And like I said, it takes me the same amount of time. Most of the time is in the setup. Maybe get your view right here. Now, when I go to the next one, I have to make sure that I'm set for the right depth. I mean, the right spacing. It's a little bit tight. Sometimes around the weld, you have to reset. Just kind of scraping the front of it right now. So that's a good spot right there. Let's try that. And let's do one more. Do a couple of them here, and then I'll show you what happens. Show you those teeth. And I'll show you those that I just did, and what they look like compared to the other ones. All I'm doing is just taking them over to 7 degrees from where they were. So again, here's one. Here's one that was vertical, right? And then here's the ones I'm grinding right now. You can see how they lean forward. These are 7, if I get in the right spot here. These are raked forward at 7 degrees, and then if you go over, you'll see the ones that aren't, like that, where that's straight up and down. See that? And then you can see the hook angle on these. So that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to go ahead and grind the rest of this band. Since I have the rock on, I'll probably do if you look over there, see the ones with the zip ties on them. These have already been set and they've already been ground. Probably run one of those too. But I'm going to run through the rest of this thing and have enough bands for the next couple of days without having to break into a new one, just in case I hit any metal or anything like that. I'll be getting into some oak logs that, I don't know what their status is. So hopefully this will give me some. This one right here is a saber-tooth band, and that one's a Turbo 7. So it'll give me some older bands. I don't know how many times this one's been ground. It could have been ground 2 or 3 times. But if I wreck this one, I don't really care. I just don't want to wreck a brand new one when I don't have to. So you'll get to see them run. You'll definitely get to see, even though you'll get to see a Turbo 7 and you'll get to see a saber-tooth, the only difference between these bands really is the way the teeth are hardened. The saber-tooths are much more hardened. The saber-tooths. The Turbo 7s have the silver tip wood miser, so they have the hardened spot on the tip, and these saber-tooth bands don't have that same hardened silver tip. These ones tend to go dull a little bit quicker, but I'll run them both. I don't really care as long as I come up here and knock out. I could come up here in one day. I try to do it when there's nobody home, so they're not listening to me grinding all the time. But I could come up here and grind in an hour enough bands to get me through a week. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow when there's no rain. It's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow, but I don't think it's any wipeout kind of stuff. So hopefully first thing in the morning, and try and get my milling done before the Masters comes on at 3. So that's what we're doing today, and hope you guys are having a great day. And this Pirate Solutions out.